Everyone says naval is boring, slow, and impossible to grind. What if I told you that Strasborg can delete ships with one cell button? Today I'm showing you exactly how to play French naval, and naval for that matter, the right way. Positioning, shell choice, and the one mistake that gets most captains ammo rack instantly. By the end of this match, we're either dominating the lobby or exploding in the most painful way possible. Let's find out if Strasborg is secretly naval easy mode. So here we go. The first thing you got to do is go to naval controls, then naval. Scroll down till you find, there it is, mouse wheel, naval, and change it to distance correction. That's the one keybind you have to do for naval. Right? Once you get into the game, the first thing you do is select the target, so you press your mouse wheel. That'll open up a target. You see how it says updating range? You've got to wait for that to cycle all the way through, and then you'll get the little green arrow pointing down. Match your green arrow with the pointing down arrow, and as you'll see, there's a circle. With your mouse button, you bring the circle to the water side of the boat, for want of a better word. And if you see in the top left corner, there's like the compass with the red boat in it. My shells are about to land, and it says hit, so I'm on target. Now all I've got to do is wait 19 seconds till my main guns reload and rinse and repeat. Keeping in mind that the range updates as he speeds up, slows down, put it in reverse. You see he slowed down, so it got closer to the boat, shooting at a battleship, so it's harder to hit it. I'm taking some damage. Now tactics with the Strasborg, it's got its two main turrets are at the front. So to get all guns, all the big 15-inch or 16-inch guns to bear, I've just got to drive at the targets. So all the time my range is decreasing, so I'm rolling the mouse wheel back slowly. It says 8.25 kilometers, 8.62 as the range updates. It'll update again and the range will get less. So you just got to keep that circle on your side of the enemy boat and try and put it on the waterline. 840, I'm less than him. I'll bring it back to 820, 810, around there. Give him another burst. What that does is it puts the shells on the waterline in his armor. And he's sinking. I've just ammo racked him, he's on his way out that boat. Now there's two types of fire, there's plunging fire and direct. As we get closer, the fire is direct. See the circle? I'm going to bring it on the inside of the boat that I'm aiming at. He's just sunk. The other boat's gone behind the hill, so we got to pick another target. So he's my next guy. Gotta wait for the measuring range to happen. I'm not going to fire my shells until I've measured the range, because that's just a waste, and you've got to wait 20 more seconds for another turn. So I make sure my circle is inside between me and the enemy boat. That's where my rounds are going to land. So I was less than, when I fired, I was less range than what it was saying, and just smacked it. Every time I fire a salvo, that's 8 tons of armor piercing rounds going at that boat. My main guns are firing armor piercing, and there's, if you see below the main turret, there's a little turret, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depending on what angle you turn your ship as, brings how many guns to bear. So just there I fired semi-armor piercing. So I'll fire again now. Or maybe not, but the smaller guns are semi-armor piercing, the main guns are armor piercing. And if you see up in the right corner, you see the damage that's happening to the boat. So, right at the bottom, it says 1, 6, 7, 8, and E. 1 is your ammunition nature, 6 is your fire. See how it has a little circle beside it? That means it's automatic. So that's what the circles are popping up. The E is basically your automatic gunner. Make sure, so press E a couple of times to cycle through it. You can have nothing, you can have, it'll shoot only at boats or it'll shoot only at planes. Your secondary armament side. Make sure it's set to planes and boats. So anyone that's within range, your little secondary guns will start shooting at them. So we're going to give this guy some love. There's 8 tons hitting him on the waterline, and if you can see up above on the right there, 90% beside the water, he's sinking. There's 2 boats there, so one's repairing the other. But if I give, and you see my little green circle, I just adjusted it so it's just on the waterline for him. 82%, he's sinking, not very fast, but he's sinking. I moved it to a different part of the ship, waiting for my guns to reload. And someone else helped me and he just sunk. So there's another ship behind him. If we pause for a second, most people playing Strasborg right now are making one massive mistake. And that's why I think French Naval is bad. Watch this next salvo carefully. I'm about to aim somewhere most players never shoot. And if this works, this guy's gone on one hit. We just ammo racked it. Also, stick around because later in this match we get pushed by many battleships at once. And that's where positioning with Strasborg either wins you the game or sends you straight back to port. Alright, guns are loaded. Let's go. So another battleship we're shooting at. The great thing about these French battleships is because the guns are at the front, you limit your exposure. So they can only shoot at my bow, where I get the full broadside. So I can punch rounds into his ammo rack, his engine room, the whole lot. Just to assure his compartment, he's on fire pretty badly. He's got fire going down in the bottom of the ship. So he's having a bad day, that guy. Again, remember, 8 every time I fire my main armor, which is the 2 that I got 16, 15, counting the 14. That's 8 tons of TNT and armor piercing bullets going straight out. So he's sinking 70%. Yeah, we just destroyed his main guns. Main guns are off fire. He's sunk. Severe damage. He's on his way out. 67, see how he's going down. He's got no crew left. He's sinking pretty rapidly, that fella. But we're still giving him some with our secondary armament. Semi-armor piercing is good for making boats catch fire. When you're on fire, it's a pain. Because that stops your crew from being able to do anything and slows all your repair down. So Naval is relatively simple. However, the good thing about Naval is you can make a lot of silver lines really fast. I think I made 80,000 silver lives for this one game and 10 or 12,000 RP for the next boat if you wanted to do boats. But if you need silver lines quickly, Naval's the place to do it if you're not running any premium. So got a guy on our left. The hardest part is waiting for the turrets to turn. Again, realism, so you don't get automatic turning. I'm hitting him with my 7 piercing secondary rounds, and if you notice, it's not doing much damage because they're not going through. However, watch this space. Now we're getting our main guns onto him. Just give him full salvo straight inside. His coal bunker's now on fire. He's done. You can't get the Strasborg. It was a event vehicle. However, you can get the Cleversell and the Richelieu, which were actual ships, or the Richelieu was. Got sunk twice actually. Once by the bricks, and then I think it was sunk in port as well. So there's that many ships shooting at me. It's a bit painful, but we get out of it because we got used the hill as cover. This is a, I believe, Japanese destroyer by the look of its guns. So he's not heavily armoured, and all we've got to do is start punching holes in him. Why we shoot at the waterline is because that's what makes boats that fill them up with water. And it also helps knock their guns over. If they're listing, the guns are pointing at the water. So one shot, he's all over. Wait for the range to update, nothing much changed. Keep battering them with my secondary guns. So I've got 2 secondary guns which are being brought to bear. These now being severely damaged. So I don't think there's much that bloke can do other than sink. He's lost everything, and as you notice, he's sinking pretty fast. He's now starting to list, so we're not going to focus on him much longer because there's a battleship right beside him. Let me give him another chase to the battleship. He's going to get all the love. So secondaries straight in, destroy the compartment, and then we just hit him with our main armour. We only have 1 turret operation at this point, so we're starting to take a bit of damage as well. One of my turrets is on fire, but fire's just been put out. I've got no turrets now, no main guns. Still shooting at that Japanese boat which hasn't sunk it. But he's losing compartments, turrets. Yeah, now it's just something. Now we're back into the battleship. Because I'm side on to these boats, I'm taking more damage. Because I've exposed the entire length of my ship to battleships, which is a bad thing to do. Or for the French boats. If you've got turrets like these ships that I'm shooting at, which are evenly spaced throughout the ship, so 2 at the front, 2 at the back, your best way to get the most guns to bear, the biggest bang for your buck, is you've got to turn broadside or side on to get shots. That's the benefit of the French battleship. So I'm getting to pound these boats pretty bad in. That's a German cruiser, Prince Eugen, I believe. You can still see that on the internet. It's upside down at one of the atolls that the Americans use for nuclear testing. Props are sticking out of the water, so he just sunk. That ship's already been sunk. Well, he's sinking. I haven't sunk him yet. Just took out his props and his rear guns. Now he's starting to sink. Basically, you got to keep battering them until they go under, and that's it. And you just cycle. As you can see right here now, I'll do a direct fire. So there's a little green circle. Basically, you point that at the boat. There's my parabolic arc circle. The closer you get, the circle will change this. So I bring the circle back to the waterline and hammer him again. So he's in reverse, so I need to give him more lead towards the stern of his boat, or the back. Navy boats will love it with me saying boat, but yeah. So Navy's relatively easy. There's no lot to it. It's not hard. You just got, the only thing you got to do is set key binding. I don't actually think I've set any other key bindings for Naval, so it's just right click to zoom. Space, I believe, gets you into the binocular shot, so to speak. And the mouse for scrolling is for range adjustment. Set those keys and you're good. It works for any boat. The ammunition nature is what you need to think about. So my main guns are firing armor piercing. As you start, you get semi-armor piercing. Semi-armor piercing means it doesn't, it won't penetrate through the thick armor, but it will catch the boat on fire. And depending on how your boat's been built depends on your armor. So if you see the German boats have big thick armor belts on the side, so you need to hit it with armor piercing. If you have plunging fire, which is a high parabola, goes up, comes down on top of the boat, it'll go through the deck hull. Correction, through the deck hull. The British had a battlecruiser called the HMS Hood. It was the pride of the British Navy in, I think, about 1941. We've got a German cruiser coming up behind us that we're about to sink. This German cruiser, Fritz Huygen and the Bismarck, broke out into the, I think it's Norwegian Sea or off Norway. And the Hood and the Prince of Wales took on the Prince Huygen and the Bismarck. The Hood was a battlecruiser. In the Battle of Jutland in World War I, they found out that battlecruisers were bad because they had no hull armor. The Hood had to get close, so the gun trajectory was flat and not elevated because it couldn't take rounds from plunging fire. What happened was the plunging fire, so the high parabola going up high, coming down through the deck. One salvo from the Bismarck went up, came down, went straight through the deck and landed in the magazine with all those 1-ton shells. The Hood blew up, and of 1,600 men on board, only 3 survived. The Hood is represented in the game. You still have to play it tactically the same as they did in the war. You have to get close. So battleship's not being very turny. We're in a bit of trouble here because we're heading straight towards a big rock. Giving it full left rudder and turning my turrets to the left because there's more battle wagons over there, as you see. I'm ranging it while I'm trying to do maneuvers and try to turn my... As soon as you click on the boat, it's ranging. You don't have to worry about it. So as soon as I go to binocular view, see, I've got a range. I've got the little arrow. That's red. As soon as you get your marker onto it, it turns green. It means good to fire. All I've got to do now is wait for my turrets to get onto the same axis as the boat. That'll be represented by the main gun. See how they just turned green? Means they're pointing at the boat. And then just shoot. Use your mouse button to scroll. Make sure that the green circle is between you and the enemy boat, preferably on the waterline just before them. With this particular boat, the tactic is to close the distance. Make sure that they can only see down the length of your boat, not the side. Like I'm shooting at the side of his boat. I can pick my target. He can only pick my stern part, on my bow, sorry. So I get to put 8 tons of armor piercing rounds straight onto him, and it pretty much wrecks them every time. Got another battleship over there, so we're gonna dispatch him as I take that. The other guy's cold under the fire inside it will kill him eventually. Got to lead this guy. I'm just prepping to make sure I'm ready, and there we go. So now I can get my secondaries onto them, start hammering away. All they're doing is catching them on fire. As you can see, I'm now on fire. I'm in a pretty bad way. I've got 3 compartments that have been destroyed. 4 are red, and 3 compartments aren't badly damaged. So now we're on the waterline. Wait for my guns to load. Scroll at C, using scroll, picking my point of aim. Just hitting on my secondaries at this stage. That's a Soviet boat, I believe. Here we go. Get close to firing. Full salvo, straight at her. 8 tons. And it's all 8. And as you see by the shell markers, he's just sinking now. 6 penetrated, 25 have landed outside, and 7 have burst through. And that's me sinking. Couldn't, unsinkability lost. Sadly, my turrets are now underwater, and on top of the table, I've sunk 7 boats. That is the fun right there at Battleship Sim. Luckily, I've got more boats, so jump in a cruiser. No, that's it, cruiser. We've taken A and C, so pretty much we've won as long as we don't sink. And I'm going to try and get to the battle. I'm a smaller ship now, but don't have armor piercing, so see that big yellow round there, or gold round? That's semi-armor piercing, or that denotes semi-armor piercing. So I had torpedoes on this boat, and I had smoke. Boat that I've designated, he's on fire pretty bad, but I'm just shooting at him. So I have a high rate of fire. I've got three main guns that I can, or 3 turrets that I can bring to bear. Fire the first block. Up in the left-hand ship, see how it says shell splash? That's the time of flight for the rounds. So in 13, 12, 11, 10 seconds, the rounds will start landing. If we look up at the top left while we're waiting for the rounds to land, and now our rounds were over it, so we need to drop it by 0.35 kilometers, which we did. We got a hit. We're a little bit over, 1 round hit. So we keep scrolling back. This is how we do long range shooting. Over. So you got to be at least 35 below it. That one was short by 25. So we're about right there. We got 3 hits on them. So basically half our guns at that time. And all you do is just keep pounding it. And that's it, team. First in the team. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe.